Okay, we're here to produce some things for John Schubert for the reunion of the Urban Cowboy and Gilley's in Pasadena, Texas, which happened about 30 years ago. I'm here, Johnny Lee is here, Norman Carlson's here, and everybody's interested in what was happening, and we got some questions that they're going to ask us, and we're going to do our best to answer them for you. So, Gary, if you want to give us the first question, we'll try to answer it for them. What brought me to Pasadena, Texas was the fact that I opened my performance at the Ranch House in 1959, moved over to the Nestadale, and then from the Nestadale I went out to the Bel Air Ballroom. And in 1970 I met Mr. Sherwood Cryer, and he came to me and asked me if we'd do a club together, and we called it Gilley's. And in 1971 Gilley's was opened in Pasadena, Texas, and that's how I ended up in Pasadena.
Mickey Gilley. I went up there to meet him, sat in, got a gig from him later.
At the Nestadale.
At the Nestadale.
Go ahead.
By the way, the Ranch House, that place is still there.
I know, but it's
I think the old Nestadale's a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, it is now, but it wasn't. Now it's the VFW Hall, I think.
Really?
The Ranch House is.
I went up there to meet Mickey Gilley, try to get a job, and I BS'd my way into one, and here we are today.
Yep.
Well, let's see here. Oh, hi, everybody. What started me there was back in '66, a friend of mine by the name of Mike Lacey called me up on the phone. He was your drummer at the time, I believe.
Mike was, yeah.
Yeah, and he asked me if I could come and jam or sit in because the saxophone player you had got ill and couldn't play no more. So I came out, showed up, and you liked what I did, and I liked what you did, and you ain't been able to get rid of me since.
So we've been together now 44 years.
No,
going
45.
45. 45 years.
So you didn't like what I did?
I don't know what you did. And
No,
I don't want to
was-
know what you did.
But it was good when we had the horn section there for a while.
yeah,
when
man.
you was playing trumpet, and we had the guy playing
Rob.
somebody playing the trombone, and
yeah.
Norman playing the sax, and sometimes Norman played the two saxes.
Hey, that was hot stuff,
Yeah,
man. I still love horn
Yeah,
sections.
yeah, I do too. But like, it's hard for me to afford them, with the way the economy is right now.
$25 a night,
Yeah.
how can you go wrong?
What's the next question? Back in 1971 and 72, I had acquired a television show that we were doing in the Houston area, and I got to doing commercials for a furniture company called Furniture Outlet at the time. And at that particular point in time, I had been going to the recording studio and recording some music for the television show. The lady that had the jukebox in Gilley. She heard me sing. She called me Baby All Night Long.
Many.
And when I went in to record She Called Me Baby All Night Long, I needed a song for the flip side, and I happened to think about the old song Room Full of Roses. And that's how it ended up being recorded. And of course, when we released it locally in the Houston market, the radio stations flipped, started playing Room Full of Roses. Next thing I knew, I had a hit.
I already had Cherokee Fiddle recorded. My story behind Looking for Love is this guy, Irving Azoff, who had a couple of small groups like the Eagles and the Go-Go's and blah, blah, blah.
Becky Bob, too, was...
Becky, yeah, I love Becky. Yeah, she was the music coordinator for the show. They liked Cherokee Fiddle, which I ended up re-recording with Charlie Daniels playing fiddle, Michael Murphy singing harmony with me, and Rosemary Butler.
Michael Martin Murphy.
Yes. And Rosemary Butler, who sang with Jackson Brown, did the girls' part. Tony Jolene originally did that part, but I found that song in a cardboard box. We was going to use Cherokee Fiddle. They said to get two other songs. So Becky Shargo, we went to a hotel, and it was just like cardboard boxes full of cassette tapes, and we started listening. And within about the first 10 to 15 songs, I pulled this song out of there called Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places, written by Patty Ryan. Wanda Millette from Gulfport, Mississippi, got the idea from a classroom of second grade children. I fell in love with it. Couldn't believe I didn't write the lyrics myself. Changed the music up and did it like, at Gilley's we did two steps. We didn't do country aerobics, all this electric slide and all this. Everybody two-step. We changed it up to a two-step. I recorded it, and thank you very much.
Okay, Norm, for you, the question is, what were your favorite memories of Gilley Club and working with the band and Gilley and John?
What was your favorite thing in Gilley's?
The fact that we could play just about any style of music, period. And we pretty much played just about every style there was, mostly country music. But
Variety.
we also did Blood, Sweat, and Tears. We did Chicago. We did all kinds of it. We did bluegrass, you name it. We did it from back in those days, and I loved that because you didn't get bored with listening to the same old, same old, same old.
And the biggest thing was doing things like diggy-liggy lie and a diggy-liggy low and a 1, 2, 3, and here we go. And in heaven there is no beer. And what was that other one that y'all used to do?
No, at Gilley's. At Gilley's,
Cotton
there
Eye
is
Joe.
no beer.
Yeah. And what was the other one?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe, yeah. I mean, those were some of the songs that were highlights of the club. People always enjoyed the fiddle music with those two
I never
step
forget,
things.
I did not want to do. At Gilley's we
There's
have
no beer.
No beer. You know
That's
what?
why
Couple-
we drink it here.
right here. And when we're gone from
here,
here, all our friends will be drinking all the beer. And we go, la 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 la. Sherwood said, "You learn this." I said, "You shitting me?" And I didn't want, and he ended up sticking a 38 pistol up my ribs. He got so pissed off because I wouldn't learn. I said, "You kidding me? I'm doing hip stuff." That little gun kind of scared me. We ended up learning. I did it at a concert 2 weeks ago in Texas.
In heaven,
at the
there's no
Reliance Center
it's a
for
fun
the
song.
rodeo
Yeah.
board, and they
They love
loved
it,
it,
yeah.
and I had a great time doing
Yeah.
it.
It's the same way with when we used to do diggy-liggy lie and diggy-liggy low and a 1, 2, 3 and a here we go.
Oh,
Yeah, we sang that. We did.
I was
we did
wishing
it.
Diggy Liggy Lie would have died a long time ago.
We did that on Fantasy Island. You remember when we did? You and I danced on Fantasy Island with Hervé Village
yeah,
Jazz.
yeah. They
Hervé
always
was up
turned
there.
the strobe
strobe
lights
on,
on,
yeah.
so it would look like we were doing a whole lot more than we were.
What's next?
From Anita Campbell Thomas, there's a question for Mickey. Before you were famous, do you remember coming to the Campbell house to borrow the popper shell for your truck so that you could protect your equipment on an out-of-town gig?
Well, it's been too long for me to remember that, but I don't doubt that I did not do that because that's one of the things that was scrambling for everything we could do to keep our equipment in working order, and that sounds probably reasonable that I would do something like that. So I don't remember it, but it probably happened.
I'm still having problems keeping my equipment in working order.
And Anita asked Johnny the question, did you and Anita make out? Because her sister claims that you did.
Did me and Anita make out? If she came to Gilley's, it was highly possible. Yes. Yes.
Next.
Okay, other than your own show, anywhere that you have been, what was your favorite entertainer that you ever saw? And including at Gilley's.
What was our favorite entertainer?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of hard for me to answer that question because there's a lot of great performers out there that I've worked with. One of my favorite people to work with was Conway Twitty, and of course he's gone right now. And of course Miss Loretta Lynn was one of my all-time favorites too. She was such a lovely person. One of my favorite performers at Gilley's was Merle Haggard. I got a big kick out of listening to Merle because I always loved his music. But there's just so many. I don't want to try to pick one particular entertainer out and say, he's the best. I had the chance to see my friend Larry Gallon the other night, and he did a fabulous job. I've always enjoyed Johnny's music. Johnny always does a great job. My cousin Jerry Lee Lewis has been fabulous. I can't think of just one particular person I'd want to try to single out and say this was my favorite person in the entertainment field because there's so many. My favorite artist of all time, of course, was there's two of them, and that'd have to be Elvis Presley and the Beatles. I really enjoyed their music as much as I did anything. What about you, Johnny?
You.
I know better than that, but that sounds good anyway.
Mickey Gilley. I love Mickey Gilley. He got me going. I'm still here.
Well,
hey. But I'm like you.
We've had some good
Loretta
times.
Lynn,
We had some good times together.
David Allen Coe,
David
Willie
Allen Coe.
Nelson,
Well, now-
Waylon Jennings.
You heard the story about David Allen? I tried to get Sherwood not to book David Allen in the club, and he found out about it. I thought he was going to kick my hiney. I said, wait a minute, dude. I didn't think his music was, good for the club, but Sherwood booked him in the club.
Hello.
And David Allen Coe found out that I had said something negative toward him, and I said, look, I didn't mean anything bad. I had to apologize to him for it, and which, David Allen Coe is a great guy. I just didn't think his music at the time would be good for the nightclub Gilley's with my name on it. That's what I was.
They never did want to let us do songs that were
controversial.
Yeah, I remember
yeah.
when I wanted to take this job and shove it. That was another time Sherwood got pissed at me. How stupid was that? But I understood later on in life. Well, he was the one that's paying us not that much.
Well, I know, but I understand that too. But we always tried to.
But you got to look at all them thousands of people that came out there, man. They loved David Allen Coe.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
he used the F word.
Yeah.
And nobody was ever allowed to do that in there. But when they did it.
And I don't think that's good for country music. I mean, I don't think that's good for a country music audience to use that type of
David
language.
Allen Coe.
I know, but anyway, that was one of my peeves about booking acts in that would use the language that I didn't feel like it was good for country music.
What about tiptoe through the dew?
Well, I mean, it wasn't anything nasty about it.
He even booked Tiny Tim in there, man. Everybody played Gilley, so it was a big array.
I tell the story about I recorded all those flower songs, Roomful of Roses, I Overlooked in Oregon, went up city. What am I thinking about? I did Roomful of Roses, I Overlooked in Oregon, Big Bouquet of Roses, San Antonio Rose.
That's what inspired me to do Rambling Rose.
I did all those songs. I did everything but Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
And you won the FTD award of the year that year.
Oh.
Next.
Absolutely, I remember Gator. He was
Saw him last week.
Yeah, he was a pretty good dancer.
He still does the splits. I did a thing at the Reliance Center 2 weeks ago for the rodeo board, and Gator and Norm and Jesse and somebody else came out, and Gator went out there and he was doing the thing that he does, with the Orange Blossom Special, and I know he still did the splits. Took him a little while longer to get back up, but he still did it, and it was so much.
Have you seen my friend Roy Head lately?
A while back.
Have you? Because Roy used to jump off a stage and do the splits and things.
I know. Last time.
But we've got up in age. If I get down now, somebody will have to help me
I'm
up.
gonna stick to the floor. Do I remember Cinnamon Schnapps?
That's a drink, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I don't
yes,
remember.
I remember Cinnamon Schnapps, but I don't remember what we did after that. I remember my breath was pretty nice.
You remember driving to San Antonio for a cup of coffee, I know.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, Mickey
No,
Gilley.
don't mention that. Okay, next. If they ever made a sequel to the Urban Cowboy film, if we had somebody the caliber of John Travolta to bring it together, yes, it would be probably an interesting film. But other than John Travolta playing that part, I don't know how it would have been a successful film. It had to be somebody like him. Because actually, the Urban Cowboy was nothing but a country night fever. It was like he came off Saturday Night Fever and he did the Urban Cowboy. And the name was Urban Cowboy. And if they'd have called it the Country Night Fever, it'd have been about like what, because he did all those dance moves.
I don't think they did anything wrong. I don't think there could be another Urban Cowboy movie like it was.
Oh, I don't think so either.
Times have changed.
You're right. And
People have changed.
And country music's changed quite a bit right now.
Yeah.
I mean, back when we were recording and doing our things, it was fighting, drinking, cheating, and that type of thing.
There could be another movie like that made. Look at what our buddy George Strait did.
George Strait has been.
So I mean,
he's the most.
Yeah, I think good westerns, good country music movies. There's still a lot of room for that.
Well, George Strait has the most #1 singles now. Conway had the most #1 records until George Strait overtook and got the most #1 songs now.
Okay, here's the last question, and this is for all of you guys. Do you think
I don't think there's going to ever be another club like Gilley's, and I'll tell you why. It's because Gilley's evolved in what it became. Sherwood Cryer owned the vending company at the time, and the reason why we had all those games and things in the club was because he used it for a warehouse. And when he put them in there, people would come in there and play them. And it grew and became what it became because it evolved in what it became. And when we first opened the club up, there wasn't even a pool table in there. And I persuaded him to put a pool table in because he was afraid that if I got up on the pool table, I wouldn't get up there and play music. So he didn't want to put a pool table in. But then he found out how much money he was going to make on that pool table. And then he added the second pool table. Then he started using it for a warehouse. He started putting all these games in it. And that's how it evolved and what it became. And a lot of people ask me, how did you come up with the idea of Gilley's? I didn't. It evolved in what it became. I think Johnny can verify that also. He was there and watched it grow.
That's how you used to make all your extra money, was on the pool table, because I played your ex before.
Well, I used to love to play pool, and I used to play. I could play just good enough.
You would always mind screw me
I could
in
play
pool and golf.
I could play good enough to get beat. That's my problem.
I don't think there'll ever be another nightclub like Gilley's. There's a lot of clubs. I'm going to tell you what, traveling on the road like I do, Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, we could work all year, and we do. I do 100-plus dates a year on the road. There'll never be another club like Gilley's. Number one, the drinking laws have changed.
Right. That has something to do with it, too. And
So
they demand that you serve a certain amount of food when you have drinks, and they should. I mean,
Gilley's had great pizza.
Well, we had some,
We don't know. It was good.
Yeah.
Either that or I was so messed up I thought it was the best in the world. Whatever.
Well, the only thing that I want to say is, Norman and I are celebrating going on 45 years together, and we've been working together for all these years. And you notice I didn't say he worked for me. I said we worked together, and that's the way it's always been. And me and Johnny worked together for a long time. And it's a shame that we're not back together doing what we would love to do, and that's play music. But we're like brothers, and we fought like brothers. We argued like brothers. And we got to the point where he wanted to go his way, and I wanted to go mine. He had his thoughts. I had my thoughts. But we're still friends, as you notice, as you can tell right now.
I love you, man.
Love you too, Johnny.
Anything you'd like to say to the people that are having the reunion? John Beck, John Schubert, any of those?
Well, I'd like to say to all of them down there that participated in what the Urban Cowboy became, that I hope they have a very successful turnout, and I hope they enjoy what we're trying to do is keep it in the front of the public. If they get a chance to come to Branson and they want to come see our performance here at the Mickey Gilley Theater here in Branson, or participate in my restaurant next door, which is Gilley's Texas Cafe, I'd like to invite them to come down and see what's going on in my life and my career at the present time. I'm not getting any younger, but I hope that I'm going to be around a few more years. They're invited to come see me. That includes Gator and Leon Beck and John Schubert. Now, all of them, if they want to come down, I'd love to see them.
Some of the best times I ever had in my life, sometimes I didn't even realize it, was at Gilley's.
No doubt about it.
It was like an education that nobody could ever have. And thank y'all for coming out and seeing us. Thank you for what you made us. And I love you. I wish we could be there tonight.
Yeah, thanks for being a big part of our career. We appreciate all you folks that have supported us down through the years. And Pasadena has been very nice to MG. And since I moved, I said moved. I hadn't moved up to Branson, but I make most of the music that we're doing right now is in Branson, Missouri. But I still enjoy coming back home, and I still live in Pasadena, and I call it my home. So anyway, everybody, thank you very much. We appreciate you.
And I'll never forget how good-looking jeans were back on the girls back then. Whew, I'm still whooping and old. Thank you. I wish we could be with you tonight. Thank you.